This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me, as always, is my co-host, freshly vaxed,
That's
Nick
exactly
Mason.
right. Yeah, I am. I'm feeling good. And I'm bloody getting the bloody 5G, aren't I? Bleepity bloop, eh?
So true.
Bloody, you always say your internet's bad, but I'll give you.
Yeah. I
give
have
you a boost.
No, I have 5G, and it's much better now. And look at me, I'm fine. I mean, I'm not fine, but that's not related to the. Those things are unrelated.
The speed of the internet you have in your house is not relevant to whether you're fine or not. It's not going to affect anything.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Anyway, I had a great. Let me tell you, I had a great time, and I got a lollipop.
Did
but
you?
also,
What colour?
strawberry. It was strawberry coloured.
That was what I was hoping for.
Yeah, it was a good one. Some Chopper Chop. They did
Yeah.
my Chopper
Oh,
Chop.
wow.
Yeah,
I
big-
don't like the cream Chupa Chups.
Yeah. You know what happened, James?
What's happened?
Is I got one and I'm like, this is a cream Chopper Chop.
Yeah.
And then as I'm walking out, I'm like, I'm kind of regretting my choice. I wish I'd gotten a not cream Chopper Chop. Then I unwrapped
is
it.
this true?
Yeah, and then I unwrapped
Yeah.
it and it was a not cream Chopper
Oh,
Chop. And I'm
yeah.
like, hell yeah.
That's the power
I
of
think
getting
I've gained
vaxxed.
the ability from this vaccination to...
Manipulation of molecules.
Yeah, I think so. But only from cream to non-cream candy molecules.
And it only works once.
Yeah, it seems to have only worked once so far, yeah.
That's great, though.
And I'm bleeding from my eyeballs.
That's my 5G, though.
Yes.
It's unrelated to the 5G you got put in you.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I'm yet to get mine, but
Thank you.
because we were talking about before the show. This is boring. I'm so sorry. Anyway, there's no real campaign for like who can and can't get it here or where to get it done. But if you look into it, you can get it. So
If you're in Australia, go to hotdoc.com.au.
Yep. Wow.
That sounds like a trick, and I'm trying to trick you to looking at a porno, but I'm not. Go there, you put in your postcode, and it gives you a big list, and you can just...
It gives you a big list of pornos.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Great
and
stuff.
even more important than my health, personally,
yeah.
is that this week I was on an episode of our friend
Yes, you
Hans
were.
Radio's Baseless Speculation. So normally on that podcast, they will say, watch a trailer for an upcoming movie, and then they will rampantly speculate on what is going to happen in the movie. But for this episode, the trailer isn't even out because we were going to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. So we both widely speculated on the movie and on the trailer, like what's going to be in
what's
the movie.
going to be in
what's
it?
gonna be.
I did. I listened to it.
And let me tell you, there was a lot of yelling. There was
So
so much yelling.
It was it nearly came to blows, didn't it?
Really did, yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I nearly cracked the Joel's heads together. And I'd do it again.
Well, you'd nearly do it.
Yeah, I'd
again?
nearly do it and then I'd nearly do it again.
Terrific stuff. Now, often
I also recorded another episode of something with them, but it's not out yet.
Oh, yeah.
And also, this week I recorded an episode of Dave Warnicki's podcast, Book Cheat.
Did you?
It's myself and Beck Petratus. We're back together
busy.
again. And that is not out yet, I don't think.
after
but
your
I'll-
bitter divorce.
Yes, that's right. I divorced those two. Yes.
Terrific stuff. Oh, but that's out this week?
I think it's out this week, but I'll mention it again next
We'll
week
mention
when
next
it comes
week.
out.
Yeah, terrific. Now, people want to jump around this week. We're going to be talking about Loki and the next stuff that's going on.
That's right.
And some future stuff in the MCU. The Multiverse, Deadpool, Netflix and gaming, some Suicide Squad reactions, some Indiana Jones news, and then we're going to talk about the new Space Jam movie. There's time codes below. Shout out to everybody on YouTube because people listen to this on YouTube and there's time codes there as well.
Yeah, nice.
I feel like I don't acknowledge YouTube enough. It very quietly hit 100,000 and I went, all right.
Cool, man.
But, thank you for people who listen there.
We appreciate
Even
it.
though it goes up later, but it's there.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're welcome to it.
Well, that's probably because
I
they're
appreciate
lazy,
it.
James.
That might be it.
Or disinterested in our podcast.
Could be both. Could be either or both.
Yeah.
Spoilers for Loki. Again, time codes if you do want to jump ahead. If you've wrapped up the season, as we did, there's a video. Collins finished it up. It's the last one of the season. Thank God.
Do you like Dan Aykroyd? Do you like still photos of Dan Aykroyd?
Or an
Going for a trip?
animated photo of Dakroyd.
That's a daiquiri you can only make with Dan Aykroyd's Crystal Head vodka.
Ugh, I can't even imagine what his vodka tastes like, but I bet it looks like... Ugh.
Oh, Crystal Skulls. That's what it tastes like. You ever licked a Crystal Skull? And
That's
I know
bad
you have.
though, isn't it?
No, I know you have. No, they're good. You give it a lick and you're like, this tastes like destiny.
Shout out to Lemony Fresh on Twitter. Lemony Fresh Twit, who actually animated Dan Aykroyd.
Saw that. Hand-drawn animation.
Incredible. But yeah, we get into it there and we talk about all the spoilers and the ramifications in the
That's
future.
right.
We've got a bit more information here because we are getting a season 2 of Loki.
Yeah.
It's also the first live-action Disney Plus show that has a confirmed season 2.
That's right.
We are getting a follow-up to Falcon and the Winter Soldier in a movie, it seems, and WandaVision.
And we're getting a season 2 of WandaVision where they're going to cycle through the various eras of radio.
That's right. Like all the talkies.
Black screen.
Yep.
They're going to do like radio plays. They're going to do like announcements when the Blitz was on.
Yep. They're going to do that War of the Worlds thing, but they scare everybody.
Yeah.
It's going to be really good.
They're going to do Talkback.
Yep.
They're going to do Howard Stern.
They're going to do Beat the
Baba
Bomb.
Booey.
They're going to do Beat the Bomb.
They're going to beat the bomb. They're going to do that time you rang up a radio station and you won an N64 or whatever happened. They're going to
Finally,
do that.
they're going to do a whole episode on that.
That's right.
They're going to do prank calls where they call up and do Indian voices at people,
Exactly, yes.
which was just Australian Radio for, seems like decades.
They're going to do...
I think they still do
They're
it.
going to do that AM radio quiz thing where that guy ran the quiz and asked the quiz question. Everybody who called up just said the word India for like 20 minutes.
Look it up. We've mentioned it before. I cannot stress enough. Collings, link it below, please, who's editing this. Or if you don't know where it is, I will give it to you.
Yeah.
It's the funniest thing in the world. It's a quiz show where everybody just rings up and says the answer is India.
Yeah,
And it
I don't
just
know how they all.
goes-
I don't know. They like. Surely it must have been a planned thing. Some group of people or something.
I
like
don't
that.
think- I think it
But
just got in the zeitgeist.
I also it also possibly people were in the queue and they're like, well, I do have the answer, but I could also just say India, and it will make this guy upset. Anyway, they're gonna. My point is, James, they're gonna do an episode of WandaVision where it's just that, and the vision is the guy asking the questions, and he's
Exactly.
getting more and more annoyed.
Anyways, director Kate Herron, who directed every episode of the season, is not returning, surprisingly. This is a quote. I'm not returning. I've always planned to just be on for this, and to be honest, that's something that just came out, and I'm so excited. I'm really happy to watch it as a fan next season, but I think I'm proud of what we did here, and I've given it my all. I'm working on some other stuff yet to be announced. What is surprising about this is because it was well received, but she's not doing any Marvel stuff. Like there's
after
nothing else
this?
lined up for the
right.
moment, which is, I don't know what that means, or I hope it wasn't a frayed relationship, but it's just a bit odd to be like, I mean, it was just, I had a great time and now I'm doing something else, but
Interesting.
I don't
Okay,
know. I don't
knows?
know anything else about it
I
beyond
mean, maybe
that.
it was just it could very well be, the Marvel experience isn't for everyone. I think, be it an
absolutely.
actor or a director or whatever. I think some people are like, glad that I tried it, but this is a system. And also, she would have had to get super bulked up.
Gotta get
Get on the
bulked up.
HGH,
Exactly. Oh my God. Got to crunch your way through family functions.
That's right, exactly.
God. You're at Thanksgiving, but you're just
You're just doing crunches,
or you're hanging from a door frame doing those upside down crunches.
Yeah.
You bought your own chin up bar.
That's
Oh my
right.
God.
She's calling action and cut. She's doing the ropes.
But someone who is going to hang around forever is Tom Hiddleston, who's just like, I'm going to do this every day for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But the THR have also reported that Loki will return in Doctor Strange and his very multi-dimensional adventures, which is coming up. So if people want to check that out,
You can't.
it'll
It's
be
not out yet.
No, it's not out. But when it does come out, it will be a pretty big movie.
You're still not allowed to watch it, though.
You're allowed to watch it. You have to listen to this podcast.
That's right. The radio version.
Yeah. You got to listen to our spoiler review of that movie and then you can say it.
That's right.
Yeah, if you're a true fan,
Yeah,
if you're a
yeah.
diehard fan of the movie Die Hard, that's what you have to do. More news, Mason.
News.
This is from the D23 Insider.
Okay. So Disney related. This is
Yeah,
Disney
but
related.
this isn't a Disney specific
Okay, right.
podcast
Well,
or media
they should
situation.
get off it then.
I agree. Kevin
Stay in your lane, D23, whatever you call.
Insider.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige recently
Become
said,
a D23 outsider.
Whoa,
And get out of my office.
Get out, stand in the rain.
Hand in your clickbait gun and your clickbait badge. You're off the case, D23 insider.
Yeah, Kevin Feige recently held a meeting.
But damn it, he gets results.
Yeah.
The D23 insider.
Yeah. But get in the rain.
That's right.
Kevin Feige said he recently held a meeting about the rules of the multiverse, which is important because, again, if you've seen Loki,
Yep.
it ends with the multiverse being created
That's
or
right.
branched out to and it was already there.
Or reinvigorated, maybe. Who knows?
We say whatever, but it's
Yeah,
happening.
That's right.
Or it already happened and it's
Yeah.
whatever. I think you need some hard and fast rules for this because this shit just spirals.
Yeah.
This multiverse stuff. And I think there will come a point, probably at the end of this phase, where they're going to want to put a cap on it.
Yeah.
And lock off dimensions or something, or make it so like these are the specific rules and you can't
Yeah.
travel here for whatever reason, or you can't use this Spider-Man in here anymore.
Well,
or-
it's interesting because, I think as we've mentioned, DC Comics They started
Yeah.
out with one universe, then they went to 2, then they went to 3, and then they really cranked it up. And at a certain point, they were like, you know what? There's an infinite number of parallel universes. And then they were like, this is too much.
Yep.
And they pared it back. At one point, they had they put a cap on it. They were like, there's 52
Yep.
universes, and I think
It's infinite again now.
it's infinite again now. Yeah.
because of Watchmen
Yes.
or something.
And Marvel have always also said, I think, infinite number of parallel universes, but multiversal travel is like far less common, I think, in Marvel for whatever reason.
You need a
So
special box.
You need a special box. That's right.
But where is it? We don't know. Probably Deadpool's got it.
Yeah, Deadpool's got the box.
Speaking of,
Oh, yeah.
Deadpool has sort of joined the MCU in a Free Guy trailer reaction that he did with Korg. It looked very expensive.
See, this is the thing. This fascinates me. So the idea being it's one of those reaction videos,
Yep.
but it's Deadpool and Korg. They're watching Ryan Reynolds' upcoming, or maybe it's been out for 10 years, Free Guy, and they're like making little quips and jokes.
Yep.
But what fascinates me is how's he allowed to use those characters? How much did it cost, as you mentioned?
Yep.
Just the logistics of it
I
fascinate
think
me.
it's obviously a Korg 3D model that they have. I mean, you still got to render and animate.
Yeah,
and-
I think it is. It looks to me like it was probably like a real suit, maybe, and then they animated the face. That's the impression
yeah, maybe.
got.
I don't think it is. I think it's all CG.
CGI,
I
right.
don't know.
Yeah. But my question is, I guess, what is the loophole that allows him to do this sort of stuff?
Because Disney own Free Guy.
And they also own Deadpool,
Yeah,
partially.
They bought it. Well, they mentioned in the breakdown, but it's one of the hangovers from the Fox merger, and it was
Right.
meant to be out,
That's right, yeah.
and so that's why they can do it. This is also Deadpool's sort of first MCU crossover
Yeah, I guess,
thing.
yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really
Right.
count because it's a whatever.
yeah,
But yeah,
Okay.
I think it's. Anyway, I thought it was
Does Ryan
pretty
Reynolds
funny.
pay for this stuff?
No,
Okay.
Disney would have.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess.
Maybe, I don't know.
But, I think it's also smart because Deadpool 3 is in the works.
Yeah, yeah.
Keep it in the zeitgeist. Do you know what I
That's
mean?
true, yeah, yeah.
It's all part of stuff.
It's all part of you better believe
And
it.
he has
yeah.
the suit.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
He has a suit, so-
Assuming that's him in there.
No, it is.
Okay.
There's a behind-the-scenes image where you see him without the mask. And it is
I mean,
him.
is that him though, or is he just popped on set for 5 minutes?
I'm pretty confident it was
Okay,
him.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
even you see, like, they animate the eyes because I think
Yeah,
those
yeah.
eyes don't move independently.
Yeah, right.
Or maybe they made a suit that
Ryan
does.
Reynolds' eyes. He's got glass eyes. You're right, 2 glass eyes. You see Ryan Reynolds in a movie? They've computer animated his eyes.
It's true. So you're looking forward to Free Guy? I was before they showed 14 trailers.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it. Really, we've
Yeah.
all seen it. That's the. I mean, they've made a lot of jokes and like, oh, I thought this movie was already out and stuff like that. But honestly, the one joke they didn't make was, hey, haven't we already seen this movie? Because there's so much of it has been revealed
Yeah.
in the trailer, and we really know exactly what's going to go on.
Yep.
And they didn't do that because it's true. They didn't,
right.
Yeah. And in some ways, James, the funniest jokes are the ones that are true. But
Never thought about that.
right, makes you think, doesn't it?
I always thought the funniest jokes are when you lie. It's just a flat out lie.
Yeah,
And people get hurt
Well,
by your lies.
I was gonna say the funniest thing is when people get hurt because
Yeah.
they're hitting the nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also love a prank, like
Oh,
a
yeah.
YouTube prank
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you say you shove someone over.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you say it's a prank, and you
and not assault.
no, and you run away.
Yeah,
but
nice.
then you put the footage onto a social media platform.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you get charged.
It is pretty funny.
Did you see those guys who pretended to rob a bank? So
maybe I saw a tweet about
they
it.
ran down like they had all gear on.
Yeah, yeah.
They ran down like the steps of a bank and got into an Uber.
Oh, so they didn't actually rob the bank. They
No.
started at the entrance
Yeah.
to the bank. Okay,
Anyway,
right.
I think they went to jail.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Because, like, you're going to get somebody shot.
Yeah.
Like, you, fine. I'm okay with that.
Sure.
But the driver, people around,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Good prank.
Great prank.
Yeah.
Okay, I changed my answer. That's my favorite kind of joke now.
A prank.
A prank. A crime. A crime. I like a crime.
So I don't know if you saw this week, though. I suspect that you did because you've always got your pulse on hot topics.
It's true.
And sometimes when there's a hot topic in the news, you might message me and be like, did you see this hot topic?
See this hot topic? It's hot stuff, James. James, text me back, James.
That's what he
Just
says
a
to me.
string of messages. Then it's a voicemail. You've got several missed calls.
Then it's a voice memo. You'll text me a voice memo.
Yeah. One of those like Bitmoji faces, and I'm like, James, you see this thing? You seen it? Anyway, this is a lot of build up for something that I probably haven't seen. But go ahead.
Netflix, it seems, is moving into the gaming space.
I did see that briefly.
Okay,
yes.
yeah, I know. I got your messages.
Yes.
So they hired...
James, you see this? Just should call it Game Flicks. Net games.
Net games,
James,
good,
I'm
yeah.
workshopping in the texts. That's how it goes.
Pick the best one, and I'll say that quip when we record it.
Pretend it's off the top of my head.
So
But all these jokes, a little behind the scenes, everything I say on this that is technically a joke, it's just me texting you hundreds of times during the week.
So they hired Mike Verdu, who was a PC and mobile gaming executive. He was also a vice president of game development at a number of places called Zynga, Facebook, and Electronic Arts, among others.
Okay, all right.
So apparently, so they are moving into the space, but we don't know the specifics of it. There have been hints and leaks towards some PlayStation content, including Ghost of Tsushima. So people are like, does that mean you can play that through Netflix? Is it like a separate app linked to Netflix?
Okay.
Is it like a new thing, like a Bandersnatch style?
Well, see, my assumption based on what you said there was that it would be a sort of like Google Stadia, where you go to Netflix on your TV and you click the game thing, and then they stream the game through your TV, even if you don't have a computer or anything attached.
Yes.
And then maybe you've got a peripheral, like you've got a controller or something like that.
Or maybe you could use if it's PlayStation related, you could use a PlayStation. But it also depends, like, can you then link your controller to your TV? Because some TVs probably can't do that.
Yeah.
Do you need
it
a separate
Bluetooth or like through your maybe Wi-Fi in your house or something?
Exactly. Do you need a separate device? Like also,
are you going to have to play through your TV remote control?
Does it
Just
only
turn it to the side and
maybe
doing Street Fighter combos on your.
Like, would it only work if you use the app through PlayStation? Like,
is the game exclusively a game where you have to alter the volume of a TV show on Netflix?
I'd love that.
It's just you just pick a show on Netflix, and then there's like an animated neighbor who appears in the corner of the screen. It's like, it's too loud, so you have to turn it down. And it's like, great job, great combo.
And you finish the series, and then it tells you, oh no, this show was actually cancelled. They did one season and they cancelled this.
They cancelled it. Yeah.
This show that you didn't like that much, it's gone.
That's right. Yeah.
It's cancelled.
And then you have to test your disappointment. You have to hammer the buttons, and there's a little anime. There's an avatar of you, and you disappoint. You hammer the button, and the disappointment goes up.
Oh man,
you smash through your television.
These are really good jokes, and I'm glad we workshopped them.
I'm glad
through
too.
The week. My question was, like, in Australia, game streaming it would be bad.
Because of the terrible internet.
I mean, I have 5G.
Oh, I've got bloody 5G, as you can tell.
It's true. I have spotty 5G. But then it's like, if it's downloadable, TV storage capacities wildly vary, if they have any.
Mine's got some amount of gigabytes, but I don't know what it is.
Exactly.
So you'd have to plug in a hard drive maybe.
Yeah. But then it's also like the controller, as you mentioned, you'd need a separate periphery, and then it's like development. Are they developing new stuff, or are they also porting over old stuff?
Maybe they're sending you an NES in the mail.
I'd love that. I wouldn't play it, but I'd love it.
Yeah.
I get that. I'll get an original copy of Mario for $1 million or whatever that one went for. Why did the 64 one go for more?
Yeah, I don't know. Good question.
Let's ask.
Who?
There's no one else here, is there?
No, I mean the answer would probably be it went to a deranged millionaire, and you cannot know the thoughts of a deranged millionaire. That's how these things work.
Yeah, you're right. First reactions are in, Mason.
For what?
The Suicide Squad.
Oh.
People love it. They say we love it.
Yeah.
We love how violent it is. We love how it's got heart. As I always say with early reactions,
don't believe them.
We'll see.
Yeah, we sure will, won't we?
But also, I'm feeling pretty good about this one, if I'm honest.
I'm inclined to enjoy the work of James Gunn and everybody involved. So
yeah. Let's do it.
Pretty good. Yeah. Let's do it.
August 5th, I believe.
Okay.
It's a couple of weeks away.
Assuming we're not locked down. Yeah, sure.
Doesn't matter. It's going to streaming.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
We can get binge and apparently watch it as you watch all binge things. It's faster, apparently. So we have a terrible streaming app instead of HBO because Rupert Murdoch, by the way, buys everything on HBO and puts it through a terrible secondary platform at a great cost. And it's worse.
Great. Terrific.
So that's for everybody who doesn't know.
They know. We mention it every second.
I know, but not everybody listens to everything we've ever said.
No, that's true.
Including us. One more bit of news, Mason.
Go on.
Deadline are reporting that Antonio Banderas has joined Indiana Jones 5 in, and you're not going to believe this, an undisclosed role.
Hell yeah.
So,
do you think he's connected somehow to another character in the Indiana Jones franchise?
Wow. So the son of Shia LaBeouf or something like that?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Mutt Jr.
Do you think he could also sword fight Zorro?
What if he's Zorro? Oh, my God.
And it would make sense because he's the son of Mutt who can also sword fight.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, so great.
It's only just struck me that Indiana was the name of the dog.
Yep.
And Mutt is also the name of a dog.
Oh, shit.
You called Mutt your dog a Mutt.
I nearly lied and went, I knew that. didn't ever make that connection. Pretty good.
Happen now.
Good movie.
Did you see that? And it's not. Did you see? I saw an on-set photo at some sort of motorcycle stunt.
Yeah.
And
we talked about it.
Did we?
Yeah, and he's got a young man's mask on.
Did we talk about that?
On this show.
Huh? He's got like a green suit on. Is it that motorcycle? No, it's
Maybe
not
not.
Indy. It's not Indy on the motorcycle. It's a different. It's like a stunt guy.
Yeah, and he's wearing the young man mask.
Is he wearing? Okay, because it looked like he was wearing like a fake. He was wearing a helmet that looked like a fake head.
Ah, okay. Well, he was there. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But he's wearing like a helmet or like a rubber young Harrison Ford
I
mask.
see, right,
And I
right.
think that's his adventures during the war. And they're doing some flashback shit.
Right.
Anyway, we'll see.
Okay.
Well. If it isn't time for a movie review,
Yes.
do you feel it's that time?
Yeah, I feel it's absolutely that time. Yeah.
So, Space Jam: Lights and Noise, the follow-up, the hot follow-up, I should say, coming 25 years later.
That's right.
After the smash hit
Screaming into cinemas.
That's right. It
And
co-
home streaming or whatever.
it cost $150 million.
Starring the king himself,
That's
LeBron
right.
James.
I just want to quickly point out as well, I watched New Space Jam, and just today with my son this afternoon, it was a rainy day.
So you've watched it twice, you're saying?
Back up.
All right. You're saying this is your favourite movie and you love it.
That's what I was saying.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
I might have a different opinion by the end, but at this point, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, great.
So it was a rainy day. We're now in lockdown again, hopefully for not too long.
Hopefully forever.
Hopefully. We're like, let's watch a movie.
Oh, yeah.
And he's starting up some basketball.
Okay, yeah.
We land on Space Jam. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is Bugs Bunny playing basketball. And he's like, yes. Guess
Does
what?
he know who Bugs Bunny is?
Yes, because he's watched one of the animated movies.
Like
Whatever.
Back in Action or
You know,
something.
yeah, but nah, one of the early ones. You know, one where they compile a bunch of stuff. or
Oh, yeah,
whatever?
yeah,
And he's
yeah.
seen him at the start of like old
Yeah.
movies, like Honey,
Yeah.
I Shrunk the Kids.
And he's seen him on your boxer shorts.
Exact, my silk boxer shorts that I wear. But he loved it.
Interesting,
Like just
okay.
loved it.
Yeah.
Just couldn't get past how much he loved it. The idea of like monster aliens playing cartoons, and I'm explaining who Michael Jordan is, and he's like, this guy can't play basketball, he quit. Like he's just like into it. It's like, how could this be? But I'm like, don't worry about it. He's probably still retained a lot of that basketball information.
Yeah.
And he has. And he really enjoyed it.
Would you say, though, that your son has absolute garbage taste in movies?
Not always.
Okay.
Though he does think that new Power Rangers, Power Rangers is better than New Voltron, even though he's never seen Power Rangers. And I'm like, you are wrong. And he's like, you're wrong. And I'm like, you've never seen Power Rangers. You don't even know.
But he's got the opinion they're better.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah. But so I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And I also showed him the trailer for this new one, and he's like, looks legit.
Oh, wait.
Check
So
it out.
I thought you meant the...
No, we watched the old one, and then
okay.
I showed him the trailer for the new one.
Okay, right.
So I'm like, I cannot watch this again because it's bad.
It's a bad movie, I think. It's one of the worst movies I think I've seen
Wow.
this year. Maybe over the run of this podcast, I think.
Jesus, really?
Yeah.
I think it had some redeeming qualities.
Yeah. So sorry, I was confused earlier. I thought you meant your son had seen this new one.
No.
And he was like, it's fun. And I'm thinking like, okay, well, I guess it's got flashing lights and monsters and basketball and
Yep.
and people flying about and okay.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, I kind of get it. But I would see how.
We're spoiling this, by the way,
Okay, sure.
because we just know.
there's very little.
I'm
to
not
spoil in this
dancing
movie.
around this.
Yeah. That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's a little
What's the story? What do you think it was?
it's LeBron James is a bad dad.
Yep.
But then he's
Actively.
he's actively a bad dad, and then he gets sucked into a computer, and he's got to win the basketball game and be a better dad.
Yep.
And he does, and he is.
And his son invented the basketball game. And the basketball game, because his son likes computers more than he likes basketball.
Yeah.
And he's made to play against his son in the computer game. But also, LG Rhythm says, if you don't win this game, I'm going to delete everybody from the Warner Brothers archive, which includes just the Looney Tunes or something. I don't know. It's not important. There's a Space Jam, and by that I mean they're not in space at all.
No.
I mean, they weren't in space in the first one. I mean, they versed people from space.
Yeah.
Cyberspace Jam, they could have called
Called
it.
it Cyberspace Jam, baby. Yeah.
Anyway, I liked that LeBron had a realistic house, unlike the first movie where they're like Michael Jordan just lives in just a regular
Yeah, he
house.
just
and
lives
there's
in
no
the
fence.
suburbs. Yeah,
But
yeah.
here he's like, this is my private blue basketball court. You know it's expensive if you've got a blue court.
Oh, you better. Yeah.
That's some serious shit. But also, I think it's got one of the most 90s things in the world where the lesson is generally a movie executive I mean, and a person in a movie has to be a better dad.
Yeah,
which was just every kid's
Yeah.
movie from the 90s.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. So the one proviso when we talk about this, there are definitely people who are like, well, you think this movie sucks, but it's not for you.
Agree.
And I would agree to some level.
Yeah.
But I would also argue that the people who made this movie were like, we got to have a 4-quadrant movie. We got to have all the
Yeah.
demographics interested in this. So
Basketball, Game of Thrones,
The Matrix.
Sexy Rabbits, and The
yeah,
Matrix.
It's
It's the 4 quadrants.
The 4 quadrants. But
Mason texted me Sexy Rabbits earlier, by the way.
I didn't. I said sexy the Matrix.
The grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you're obviously like if you take a 8-year-old to Space Jam,
Yeah.
they're not going to be like, oh, I understand the Matrix. I get that reference.
Yeah.
All that stuff is very obviously for either parents or to draw people in who would otherwise not be interested in this.
Yes.
So if you were doing that, you should probably, if you care at all about the production of the perception of this movie or people's perception of Warner Brothers' ability to make a good movie, if you are drawing in people who are going in because they like Game of Thrones or The Matrix or whatever, you should probably make it a better movie.
Yeah, I agree. I also think there's a very good chance that this is going to be looked at fondly in 30 years.
Yeah.
Kids will grow up with it.
Uh-huh.
They'll see all the other movies and the references. They'll be like, I remember Rick and Morty.
Oh, spoiler alert, Rick and Morty are in this.
We're spoiling.
I know, for 20 seconds. They're in.
Yeah. So I've just written here, so much of this is just fucking noise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I explained it to my wife like this. I was like, you know how if you saw a movie like Mitchells versus the Machines or Spider-Verse?
Yeah.
Claire loved Spider-Verse but found it a bit overwhelming. Like the visuals,
Sure, yeah.
it's very frenetic. There's a lot going on. This has the energy of Spider-Verse, but it looks like shit.
Yes. Great.
It's just grey and blue and
Yeah.
horrible. Everything's got it's all pixely and I don't know. You look in the background and on the basket when they're playing the basketball game.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of Warner Brothers characters standing around, but they look like the dollar store costumes of those characters.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Like there's a version of the mask.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He's not he's got the yellow suit, but they've been like, "What should we get the shirt and tie from the?"
No.
What? Nope. Just whatever
Let's get
we had.
Arnold's Mr. Freeze, but it's a different guy.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because
See, looking at that because it's the
Danny DeVito penguin is very close.
yeah. There's a Mr. Freeze in there, and it's the version of Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin. So he's not in the power
got the
armor suit.
robe or
He's wearing a
whatever.
kind of robe. But every time I looked at that, I'm like, is that the guy from
60s.
Harry Potter?
Oh, right.
The guy with the no nose, but then I'm like, but he's got a nose.
Can't be, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's also
That guy's got a name. What's that guy's name?
Ray Fiennes.
Voldemort. There we go.
But it's interesting because there's gross penguin, Danny DeVito,
And there's
60s
60s
penguin. And, I wrote down some things here. So there's some nice things I saw. Robin, Catwoman, Robin again. It, the clown.
Yeah.
But it's not, it's
Yep.
a weird costume. Regular penguin, Danny DeVito penguin, the mask, Droogs, White Walkers, flying monkeys. There's more.
Here's a reference that was pointed out to me because I was unaware of this one. Warner Brothers owns a film from the 70s called The Devils. It's got Vanessa Redgrave and Oliver Reed in it. It's about nymphomaniac murder nuns.
Oh, wow.
And they refuse.
is that what the nuns are?
Yeah, they refuse. Apparently they refuse to re-release it on Blu-ray. They've got it, but they won't. And people what? Because they're like, no, it's too. It's not. Obvious. It's obviously not family friendly, but it's yeah. So that's.
Put in this, though.
So that's the murder nuns are from that movie, and they're just hanging around. They're hanging out with Mr. Freeze.
Yeah. You know what else I think makes it look cheap as well? Is
Yeah.
because everybody around the border of the basketball game is a real person.
And they
Whereas
just
you
sort of-
look they just they clearly just got them kind of jiving on a green screen.
And
then just plopped them in there for the rest of the movie. But there's no animated characters among them or CGI
Yeah.
characters. So it looks weird. It looks like weird cosplay. And then in the background, there's maybe the Iron Giant sitting on a hill or something.
Yeah.
I just think it makes it look worse. What I also found really claustrophobic about this, first of all, the game is also inside a force field and it's also right to the edge of the court. And I hate that feeling that
Yeah.
that they're boxed in and there's people just on the side just screaming at them.
Back off, Jack Nicholson. both 1989 Joker and Jack Nicholson, who's always right at the front of basketball games.
Exactly. I just found that you could have put a few feet in there. Do you know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah.
It was
but
very
then
upsetting.
then there would be less room for Warner Brothers IP.
Yeah. So that's good.
Looks bad. I hated it. Them doing all their pre-programmed motions.
Yeah.
Just hey, you're dressed as the Jack Nicholson Joker. Just do a little shuffle and then point,
Yep.
and then go like, yeah, and then we'll just repeat that forever.
Yeah,
for,
it's
for hours.
horrible. There's a moment where they're going to visit Harry Potter World. And he's like, I love Harry Potter. I could be Harry Potter because LeBron James gets sucked into the cyberverse and he becomes a cartoon. Would you watch a movie where it's Harry Potter but it's LeBron James? And I say that off the back of saying, you watched this.
I did watch this. Well, that's the thing. So the pitch of this movie is that Algae Rhythm, played by Don Cheadle, wants to be famous, I guess, or he wants to escape the Warner Brothers server. So Warner Brothers have trapped this.
He's doing the guy from Tron 2.
He's doing the Tron, yeah. He's trapped in this server.
Yep.
And I don't know if Warner Brothers know, but if they do, they're like, yeah, let's trap this artificial
I mean,
intelligence.
everybody's trapped in there.
Yeah, everybody's absolutely trapped in there. And he wants to escape. So his plan is to Warner Brothers algorithm just gives Warner Brothers ideas.
Yes.
And that's not played off as a joke, like Warner Brothers executives have no idea what entertainment is, so they're just relying on a computer to guess at what people are like. It's just thrown in there like, oh, look, an idea. And then they present this to LeBron.
But it's just like mashing things together. Like,
Well,
they're
that's
not
exactly
actual
it.
ideas.
They bring in LeBron. The Warner Brothers executive bring in LeBron, and they're like, hey, LeBron, this is the greatest idea we've ever had. The algorithms come up with this. What we would do is we would scan your body, and then we would put you into stuff. That is our
Game of
idea.
Thrones or whatever.
Our next productions would just be Game of Thrones with LeBron James in it.
Yeah.
And
That's
he's like-
not an idea.
And he's like, that's a bad idea, and he's right.
I mean, is that the point, though?
But
Like, that it's intentionally a
no,
bad
but it's
idea?
not play. But why? If this is supposed to be a celebration of all the cool stuff,
I guess
Warner
also
Brothers
because
has
his
ever
son
done.
liked it. So I guess on some level they must have
But
been
he
like...
liked the tech aspect because he's a dumb nerd.
But I think he also liked the idea of it.
How do you reckon LeBron's actual family are feeling? Like his kids are like, can I be in this movie? They're like, no.
No, of course you can't.
You can't. But we'll have characters based on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might not even give them your name.
Nice to see Michael Burnham in this from Star Trek Discovery as his wife.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Not his real life wife.
Nope.
How do you think his real life wife feels?
Great. She's not in Space Jam: A New Legacy. Yeah, but what I like his family just like, again, by the sidelines. They've just been told, again, they're all professionally trained actors.
Yep.
And they've all just been told, yeah, just stand here on this green screen and
Look
go.
worried.
Yeah, go, Dad.
Go.
There he is.
He's doing
it's go
basketball.
time. He's doing basketball.
He's doing that thing he does.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
You know the
that's
thing
right.
he's famous for?
Yeah.
He's doing it right now.
Yeah. Who wrote this movie? That's a thought that I had was,
An algorithm.
Let
Let me
maybe.
check.
The thought that
I was trying to think of a cutting remark, but I'm like, maybe someone, was forced to write it.
Maybe
or maybe they got a big
maybe
paycheck,
I
which
feel
goes well
maybe
done.
for the Looney Tunes, you should get comedians to write them.
I agree.
Like, I don't know if anybody who wrote this had any background in comedy, but if they do, they should quit.
You know what the problem with this is as well? And look, I in watching the original Space Jam,
Yes.
like pretty close to after, which I was not looking forward to.
Yes.
That has some decent jokes and performances in it. Bill Murray, absolute highlight. Though there is one cameo in this that I did like, which we will talk about.
Okay.
But for this, none of the jokes breathe. Because if you look at original classic Warner Brothers stuff in particular, they're set up for jokes. Say if the Wile E. Coyote wants to drop, he paints a false tunnel.
Yeah.
He'll paint a false tunnel. He'll wait. Like you'll hear the Roadrunner coming. You'll see it coming in the distance. It'll run through the tunnel. Then he'll kind of walk up and, and then a truck will come and then it's a wall, but a truck will come through or whatever. But there's like a series of like, it's played out in a way that it breathes and you kind of take in what's happening. But here there's a moment where Bugs Bunny it's a second and he paints a tunnel and he runs through it. Then LeBron James hits the tunnel and they're falling off a cliff and then and they like smash cut in between locations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's but that's the whole movie. And I like the idea also that they made some 2D animated stuff. I think that's cool that they went back to that. But it doesn't have the same feel and energy of any of that classic stuff. And I didn't even think the original Space Jam did it that well, but it did it fucking much better than this did. Good Lord. It was written by... Oh, okay. So the screenplay has 6 names.
Okay, that's a great sign. Always a great sign.
And the story has 4 names.
Okay.
So there you go.
Right. Do you recognize any of the names?
No.
Okay, right.
That's not to say... And that's probably just... that's not including people who went... Maybe we should, executives who say that or whatever.
Here's a positive thing that I would like to say,
Here we
James,
go.
and I've got the name here. Jeff Bergman's Bugs Bunny is really good,
I agree.
I think.
He's good.
I always, the original's obviously Mel Blanc, no longer with us. It was Billy West, who's done it for a number of years. I
Billy
don't know
West
if there's
because I think he did the original.
Okay.
Not the first Space Jam.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. And I don't know if there's been anyone in between because I haven't caught up. But I think this Jeff Bergman character, I think this is a very good.
Yeah.
I think it has the same energy as the Mel Blanc version. Good job, Jeff Bergman.
Yeah, I think the voice cast in general is quite good, I would say. I know people complain because Zendaya is Lola Bunny, and I think there has been people who have done it better. I know
I could not tell you what original Lola Bunny sounded
I can't
like.
remember,
So I don't think
but I know, what's her name, from Bridesmaids. What's her
Kristen
name?
Wiig?
She did a version which was
Is she?
quite good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess my other question is,
Yes.
the Looney Tunes used to live in the center of the earth, hell.
Yeah,
And now
lived
they're
hell,
locked
that's
in a
right.
server. Everything's locked in a server?
Everything's in a server.
Don't you think Rick from Rick and Morty would know he was locked in a server?
And he'd escape from the server.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he
Yeah.
would.
And he'd kill all the people that are trapped him in the server.
And who dropped him in the server or who in the server?
Everyone. He'd kill everyone to get out of the server. And then once he's out of the server, he'd deliver sweet pickle Rick revenge to everybody outside. He'd kill all the executives, probably.
He probably would.
He'd just burn this whole reality and he'd leave for another one, I think.
What I also found fascinating about the first Space Jam, which I wish I brought up when we reviewed it.
Yeah, yeah.
So they are very much concerned that they're going to have to move to Moron Mountain and perform their like cartoons and stand up again and again for all
right.
eternity, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But in that movie also, there's a moment where some of Michael Jordan's kids are watching a classic Looney Tunes cartoon, and then they all walk off.
Yes.
Which makes me think that they're doing that anyway.
Yeah. No,
They're-
you did mention that.
Did I?
Yeah.
Thank Christ. Anyway, what I'm
mention
saying,
that.
but I don't think I made the link that their punishment is just what they've been doing.
Right. It's what they love to do.
That's my point.
Yeah, right.
So I think if you wanted a summary of this movie, I guess you could. There's a clip on YouTube where it goes, Austin Powers just appears on screen and says, "Yeah, baby," and then it just cuts from an Austin Powers movie to Casablanca to Rick and Morty in about 30 seconds.
Yep.
And that's not like an edit.
No, that's the
how
whole
long
thing.
it.
There is significantly less pop culture crossover in this than I thought, and by that I mean like extensive scenes set in like that. When people go, oh, it's references to the Matrix and Casablanca and Rick and Morty or whatever. That's 10 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
And the basketball takes so long. The basketball scene is so long.
Well, it's not only that. The original one is an hour and 27.
the whole thing. Yeah.
The whole thing. This one takes an hour and 9 minutes for the game to start.
Yeah.
It's a very long movie
It is long.
to be this bad.
Yeah. And again, it's that thing of, and again, you go, it's a kid's movie, it doesn't all have to make sense. But if I'm an adult watching this, I've been lured in by promises of Rick and Morty stuff.
Yeah.
I would like maybe that the basketball game, like the dramatic core of the movie makes some sense, or like there are real rules, or
Yeah, I think
I love the
I had a
Looney
problem
Tunes
with it,
being
yeah.
dumb and silly jokes or whatever. Then don't give me a dramatic thing. I don't care.
I guess if you haven't seen it, and by the way, if you haven't,
you shouldn't say
don't watch it.
Yeah, don't worry
Just
about
watch the clip. If you're like, oh, I wonder what the Matrix is like, you've seen it. You saw that
Here's
clip.
the thing.
That's
I
it.
feel like we are doing people a service by saying it's in a way we are spoiling it, but I think we're doing a service by saying, hey guys, Rick and Morty is in this. The clip is 10 seconds long.
Yep.
It'll be on YouTube now.
And it's interesting.
But that's what they're relying on, people going, I should buy a ticket to this because Rick and don't bother.
If you want to see The Mask standing in the background next to Don Cheadle,
That's right.
then yeah, you can see that.
Yeah.
But you don't have to.
Yeah. They should have put Son of the Mask in.
Definitely. So I think Jamie Kennedy would do it.
Yeah.
So I think it was cool. Like one of the ones they visited for longer was the DC animated universe.
They did, yeah.
And they probably stayed there for a minute, which is a record for this movie.
In a way, I think they visited two DC animated universes. They went to the Justice, like the Paul Dini one.
Yeah.
And they also went to like one of the modern era Wonder Woman. I think those
they
are
did
separate
too.
universes.
Or was that
I
a
think.
comic? Because there were panels.
Oh, it could have been a comic. Yeah, okay,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't care. If
No, it
people are
doesn't.
like,
It's
if people
totally
are like,
irrelevant.
actually, don't. They just don't. No, thank you. So here's a joke that I thought was genuinely good.
Okay, great. I'm ready.
There's a cameo. I'm going to spoil this joke.
Okay.
There's a moment where they're losing because it's halftime and it's Space Jam.
Yep.
We'll talk about the rules of the game, Mike, because you mentioned that. I do want to come back to that. And they're like, oh, man, what are we going to do? And then Sylvester or somebody comes in and goes, I found Michael Jordan.
Yes.
And they're like, thank God Michael Jordan's here.
Yeah.
And then they roll in Michael B. Jordan.
The actor
and it's
from
not
Rocky.
like a clip. It's him.
Yes.
He's in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not so much funny as it is good get.
Yeah, right.
I think that was my reaction more than.
I felt that too. I went, oh, it's nice to see Michael B. Jordan. He seems like a pleasant fellow.
Michael B. Jordan, take me with you.
Because you're leaving, right? Yeah. Because, okay, so for people who haven't seen it, obviously, all the pop culture characters are at the basketball game.
Yep.
But also Algae Rhythm.
Yes.
Terrible name, also.
Algorithm, by the way, for people who don't know. Who don't know.
Also terrible name. His ultimate product is called Warner 3000. That's the best you could do, is it? It's the best. Wow, incredible. Because 2000's already happened, I guess.
Yeah, you
can't call something 2000
this
anymore.
makes it timeless, or at least until the year 3000.
Yeah, this feels like they went, hey, when they did the original Space Jam, they're like, hey, we should next time we should have something called Warner 2000, and they just dust off the old script and they're like, oh, we can't use 2000, Warner 3000,
Warner 3000,
Warner 3000. Anyway. Algae Rhythm is like, oh, we can put a thing on people's phones, and if they look at their phone, they'll get zapped into the server.
But it's not an app; it's a separate device, which means he must have sent that out to people.
Oh, right. So Michael B. Jordan was like, oh, bit of swag, love it.
I just realised I thought about it, and it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't at all. No.
But people from the real world get sucked in, and for LeBron, you loses the game.
They
and
all
they have
die
to
or
stay
something.
in the serververse or
Okay,
something.
right.
It doesn't. I don't know.
Again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because obviously they're not going to. There's also a fake out where they decide they figure out in order to win the game to get the last point, somebody's going to have to do like a sequence of moves.
The glitch.
That's going to get them to win, but the glitch is also going to kill the person who does it. And LeBron's like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Then Bugs Bunny's like, no, I'll do it. And then he dies, but obviously he doesn't die. As if.
And do you know why he doesn't die?
Because the Space Jam? Sequels.
That doesn't matter. And look, I don't think there needs to be like, I survived because of this, this, and this. But just anything.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, I didn't die and I'm in the real world. Oh.
That's to set up
I'm sorry, what?
To set up the sequel, James.
Do you want to say anything else about
Space
that?
Jam, a new legacy.
An even newer legacy.
The newest legacy we've got, guys. Come on, please. This is the freshest legacy we've got, guys. Come on.
Look, all I'm saying is...
I'm doing you a great deal here. This is the freshest legacy.
I don't need an exact... Again, I don't need like something that even makes sense. But just to be like, he literally died and disappeared and then he's like, I didn't. Okay. Great. I guess.
Yeah. That's good for future movies, James, because at any point when any of the characters are in danger, they actually won't be.
Yes.
So that's good, isn't it?
Oh, okay, so the game, here's how it works.
Yeah.
Because his son designed the video game.
It's basketball, but it's better than basketball.
It's like NBA Jam, essentially. So you get...
In fact, in the intro, when you see LeBron doing some stuff, they put some NBA Jam like filters on him. He's doing flaming basketballs and...
Terrific.
Flaming basketballs.
Flaming basketballs, mate. Stone the Crows. This basketball game is fucking bad. Anyway...
Thanks, Alf.
But you get...
Thanks, Alf Stewart.
You get bonus points for style.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And I didn't like that because it made it really vague.
Yeah,
and like,
exactly,
what's a point? What's 1,000 points?
Yeah.
Sometimes you maybe don't get a point if you get a goal because you'll take the points back.
Yeah, if you were Algae Rhythm, terrible name, and you wanted to defeat the Looney Tunes, and you knew that they could do crazy stuff, whatever they want, because they're Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Why would you give them points for doing crazy stuff?
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
Well, also, you'd set him up with the Droogs. You'd be like, your team is the Droogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
You wouldn't
That's
set him
true,
up with, or the Nuns.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Weird. I guess I kind of liked that he was like, these are the rejects. And I guess it kind of is the case because Warner Brothers, they haven't really dusted them off properly.
Yeah,
in a
right.
good 25 years. I know we've had stuff and there was the Brendan Fraser movie or whatever, but there hasn't really been like a big thing.
No,
you know
they
what I mean?
don't have. There's no, because as I understand it, I have not watched any of these. Like Disney Plus has some like new Mickey Mouse cartoons and stuff, like shorts and things that are apparently quite good.
It's quite good.
But like Warner Brothers haven't done any.
No, they have done some more recent stuff,
have they?
which is apparently good.
Okay,
yeah,
right.
that's what I was talking about.
Oh.
Yeah, also, so he has to play against his son and his son's upgraded himself, so he's also good at fake basketball.
And also has Algae Rhythm, terrible name. Has he also taken some real life basketball players and he's turned them into monsters?
Yeah, so he's scanned popular NBL and NBA, not NBL. NBA.
He's got Andrew Gaze.
He's got Andrew Gaze.
Andrew Gaze's dad, the coach.
Yeah, he's got male and female players
Yeah,
and
right.
scanned, and there's the brow and a guy who's a clock. But he can't stop the granny who knows the Matrix. 2 Matrix references in this. She does 2 Matrixes, Mason!
I don't mind a reference to something, but it's just when it's just here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's just the thing that happened in the movie, but you've put a granny in there. I hate it. It sucks. It's no good. It's really bad what they've done there. It's crook what they've done, James.
Here's something that I know you loved.
Porky Pig doing a rap?
That was exactly what I was going to say, because not only does he do a rap, I didn't realize this from the context of the clip that we saw, but he does it for style points in the game.
Hell yeah, he does.
So he gets lots of points and then they do a little dance afterwards.
Yeah.
It's only brief, but it's really good. Also, so his son is playing for the other team.
Yes.
And he's like, you don't understand. If we lose, we're going to get trapped. But he doesn't have it's the posted situation where they don't tell the son that you are literally condemning thousands of people to be deleted or trapped in this weird server controlled by a monster.
And then what happens? Is Algae Rhythm, terrible name, just going to torment them for thousands of years?
I
in
guess.
the server?
But Algae Rhythm, what he didn't count on was
everybody
was being themselves or whatever.
LeBron might become a better
father.
A better father.
Yeah, it's just and so they don't tell him, and then his son changes teams because he realized like, oh, this guy sucks also.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just go back and stand with my dad, and then I'll be on the Toon Squad or whatever. I've written here the granny does the Matrix twice. Here's something else I thought was strange. You know that big red monster?
Yeah,
looks like
yeah.
a tooth, but he's covered in fur.
The furry tooth, yeah.
That one, yeah. So there's a moment earlier on where they tear his fur off, right?
Yeah.
And you see he's got like pink skin underneath.
Yeah.
And then later in the movie, he gets burnt and he's a matchstick. So I'm like, which is it? Is he a matchstick under the fur or is he like a big pink man?
Yeah.
Big pink tooth. Which is it?
I would say under normal circumstances,
it doesn't matter?
Trying to figure out the biology of a toon is irrelevant. But it doesn't help, does it? In this movie,
that's what I'm saying. Like, and I wouldn't care under different circumstances, but it's that kind of stuff where I'm like, just think about some of this shit.
Yeah.
Just think about it. The granny does the Matrix twice.
Yeah.
I was also confused at the end
Go on.
when they were winning or did win, and some of the characters in the audience were happy or also sad that the monsters lost, including the original Monstars.
Yeah,
they're like,
they were there with that,
but it's also like you're going to be deleted, idiot. And also,
yes,
you're good guys now. I think maybe.
Yeah, they were just misunderstood in the first one, I think, right?
Yes. I also, because they had Danny DeVito making them do basketball.
Yeah.
But I was also confused at the end, even though they did set it up technically, that LG Rhythm, terrible name,
One of the worst names.
was turned into a poster.
Sure was. He got
And that was how
posterized,
he
yeah.
was, that's how it ended.
Yep.
Why did he die? Because he controls the universe.
He sure does. He could have been just like, I choose not to die.
And I choose to delete you all regardless.
I guess he just decided to abide by his own rules in the game.
Well, that's silly.
Very silly. How did LeBron win?
He did a
He did a layup.
His son threw a thing and he jumped off.
He jumped on it. Yeah,
because you can
okay,
get
cool.
style points.
Because there's no rules. Because you can do style
There's
points.
even
Cool.
because I feel like with the first one there was no rules, but it was Looney Tunes rules.
Do you think you would enjoy this game if you
No.
were playing it in real life? If you got it for your PS4 or whatever?
Well, there is a game, isn't there?
Yeah, but it's a fighting game, I think. There's like a side-scrolling beat-em-up or something.
What the fuck? Why would they
Yeah,
make
yeah,
that?
I don't know.
The original one has a basketball
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
But in this one, it's like you're playing this basketball game and your opponents are just pulling random moves out of nowhere and you're constantly losing because you don't understand. Until you click the button that says believe in yourself. Or just do some toon stuff.
Be a better dad.
Yeah, be a better dad and then you win.
Did you like how LG Rhythm terrible name turned into a CGI monster man?
No, I didn't like that. It was bad.
I think there was some interesting monster stuff going on. Like there was a water one. It was called Fire and Water or whatever.
He was called Wet Fire, wasn't he?
Horrible. I remember thinking horrible name.
Yeah.
Also, I thought initially it was two different people. Mm-hmm. Same person.
Same person, that's right.
Fire and Water man.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Do I have anything else here? Nah, crowd's too close. Mike Myers.
Sarah Silverman was in this.
Yep, so much fucking noise.
Yeah.
The commentators, despite one of them being a very funny man, wasn't very funny.
Yep, agreed.
Michael B. Jordan, Bugs Bunny's alive. Style points. So just tell your son you're going to be all trapped in a server or whatever. The granny did the Matrix twice. Yep, good stuff. Got a tweet here from A. Rondello who says, Space Jam: A New Legacy was not very good and takes far too long to get to the actual game part, but I can't wait for James to use this for an As a Father segment. I think my son might like this.
Yeah, sure.
So I will show him it, but I cannot watch.
That would be an interesting yardstick as well, because
Yeah.
he would be brutally honest as well. He will just...
Also, it takes an hour and 9 minutes to get to the basketball.
Yeah.
He was literally on his feet for the entire Space Jam movie.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as the cartoon showed up, he stood for the entire movie.
He saluted.
Vaxed Pete said,
Yes.
presumably this is via 5G, I cannot wait for at Wikipedia Brown and Mr. Sunday Movies to recap this new Space Jam. Has anything ever gone directly to the caravan of garbage? No.
No, but this is as close as it would ever get, I think.
Yeah. I think it will happen one day.
Yeah.
I just don't know for what. How
How much did you say it cost, this movie?
$150 million.
It's a lot of money, isn't it?
Looks like a bad movie as well.
Yeah, it doesn't look...
I just mean, like, I know it is expensive because there's a lot of cartoons and CGI people, and they green screened all those people in Kmart costumes.
Yeah.
But design wise, it's hot, it's bleak.
It's like they got all the if you go to like Hollywood, you walk down the strip or whatever, and there's all those people who are like, "Can I take a photo with me for
Yes.
money or whatever?" I'm Spider-Man. Like that's the level of costuming. I think some of those are good.
I agree.
Better than get some of those guys off the street because they're better than some of the costumes we saw in this.
Get the naked cowboy.
Yes, that's right.
He's probably still doing it, isn't he, Mason? Anything else to say?
Not really.
It's the worst movie ever. And I didn't expect much.
No.
And I know people are probably going to say, well, you liked Ready Player One. Not really. And this is much worse than that by a long shot. And I also, going into Ready Player One, I wasn't expecting much and I didn't hate it, but I didn't expect
It is
much.
worse than Ready Player One, isn't it?
So much worse.
Because it is essentially, hey, Ready Player One worked,
Sort of.
so we'll just do it again, sort of. Just throw them all in again.
And I know everything's brands.
Yeah.
Like, I know that. Everything is like, what can we rehash? What can we...
Yeah.
We talk about it for the upcoming G.I. Joe Caravan of Garbage this week. I know that, but just the blatancy is just... That's what's offensive, to be like, this is what you fucking nerds like.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Just shoveling shit at us, you know?
Yeah.
And doing bad versions of all
Word
of
will
it.
get around that Rick and Morty are in this and people have got to see it in cinemas. Rick and Morty in cinemas, can you imagine?
It also doesn't feel like anybody made this. It does feel like an algorithm made this. Algorithm, terrible name.
Ah, the worst
Don't you
name.
reckon, though?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah.
But and that's the thing, because there's it's not even like there's any sly digs at the idea of, Warner Brothers has run out of ideas and they're just burning through IP. If they'd put some of that in there, that's what I want.
Yep.
Is I want, just some people being like, you run out of ideas?
What I also thought was interesting was, like, you're putting in the Looney Tunes, but once it gets to the game, they're sort of in it. But that doesn't feel like they're really involved in it, you know what I mean? And I guess they're technically in it and they've got new designs and their CGI.
Yeah.
But when he's like, I'm going to get Superman, I'm going to get King Kong, maybe you should. Maybe that should be the movie.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I just think, wouldn't that be interesting as well? To be like, my team is just filled with, like, Ben Affleck is on this team as Batman.
Nice.
Imagine that.
Just a series of Ben Afflecks.
Smoking Ben Affleck.
Yep, that's right.
Vaping Ben Affleck.
Chasing Amy Ben Affleck.
Yep. Eating a hamburger on his doorstep, Ben Affleck.
Big back tattoo at the beach, Ben Affleck. There's your team, I think. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a title. I don't know. I can't think of a Space Jam Ben Affleck. I don't know. There's a title in there and I don't know what it is. Somebody think of a poster idea.
Okay.
Mason, you do it. I know. We'll workshop it during the week.
Okay, cool.
Is that it?
I'll send you hundreds of texts.
Also, I know people often say you're too easy on things. Why do you like this thing and whatever? You're easy on this. This is why. Because this is what I like save it for. This is what I hate.
Yeah.
Stuff like this, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
So when something comes out and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Bloodshot comes out and I'm like, whatever.
Uh-huh.
This is why.
Yeah.
You know what I
They
mean?
didn't try at all. It's God,
Yeah.
it's a real...
Imagine watching this again.
I shan't. There's no reason to, exactly. The only reason to rewatch it would be if you were the person who's like, oh, what's that? Who's that character in the background? Do I recognize that character?
Well, speaking of, Dave Lee, recently on the show, he also liked this movie. So, not everybody hates it.
Yeah.
And everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Everyone's entitled to my opinion,
Gotcha.
I'll tell you that much.
But he's working on a massive Easter egg video.
Yeah,
so if
okay.
you really just want to see who's in it,
It'll all be in
100%
just
watch
video,
that because you'll do a really good job on it. Yeah.
And you might even be like, oh yeah, the Nymphomaniac nuns. Oh, those wacky rapists. Oh, yeah, great.
So
They're
wacky.
all in there.
Let's get out of here, Mason.
How do you think they did that?
What do you? They just needed some live action people.
Yeah, I know, but what did they... Was there just a guy assigned to just go, here's everything we own,
Yes.
Google everything, and then just whoever's got an interesting look, just put them in the movie? Because
Get
that's
it.
why the nuns would be in there.
Get a nun costume.
But there would
from
be plenty of
Target.
Warner Brothers movies that are just about businessmen or whatever.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be like, put the businessmen in.
Yeah.
Well, I think they probably did a few. But I think it was clearly just Google search, okay, this, we'll make the costume, and we're done. And nobody actually thought about it.
I've never thought about it.
See that agent in there? Like the Matrix agents are in there. They're like...
Looks like nobody.
They're like, whoa, I'm going to adjust my cool
But again,
octagonal
like,
sunglasses.
he looks like nobody. As
he
all
did.
of them, they just look. I mean, how do you make an agent from the Matrix generic?
Yeah.
Like that's the idea behind them in the first place.
Oh, that fight in Matrix Reloaded, where they just Keanu fights 50 Agent Smiths. That's how you do it.
Yeah, I get. But you know what I mean? Like they gotta, because everyone's a knockoff version.
Yeah.
How do you make a knockoff version of an agent?
The premise of which is that it's a knockoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of like just a low res nothing character in the Matrix.
Yeah.
And they made that
Yeah.
for this.
I think for me it is like this combination of like the premise is so earnest, but the behind the scenes is so cynical. I
Definitely,
think, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah. That's a horrible combination.
If they were like the creation of this is really cynical, and then in the movie we're going to be like, how cynical is this? And like
Yeah.
a lot of jokes about how cynical it is. I would have probably enjoyed this. I
Yeah.
think. Or if the movie itself was really earnest, and you could sort of tell from the production of it that the
Yeah.
people involved really loved making it, and they loved the characters.
I
or
think
whatever.
that comes across in like Spider-Verse, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because upon hearing we're doing an animated Spider-Man movie, it's like, oh, really? But it shows that,
Yeah.
like, look at the difference. They're not that different. They're like really hot properties that they're mashing a bunch of stuff together. Like the Lego movie.
Yeah.
That is a perfect again, Warner Brothers also.
Yeah.
Just mashes everything together, but it totally works.
Yeah.
Anyway, horrible. Let's go to the
Well,
next.
I loved it, quite frankly. I loved this movie.
Let's go to the next segment of the show.
Yeah,
But
let's do it.
what's it called?
It's called What We're Reading.
Yeah,
What are we going to read?
I agree. I also think that's what it's called. I muted it.
You goose.
Don't say that, Mason.
Absolute goose.
Don't say that.
You are a goose.
I'm doing a thing.
Honk.
Westworld.
You're a goose.
This is the segment of the show where Mason and I reflect on things that we've watched, read or listened to.
Or going to read, watch, did.
But we don't do that as much anymore, do we?
Well, I'm probably going to do it this week because I was real busy.
You're going to see
so-
Jungle Cruise.
I mean, I'm probably going to see Jungle Cruise, yeah. I watched the first 5 minutes of...
Jungle Cruise.
Not Jungle Cruise. What are you obsessed with Jungle Cruise?
You're the one who said you wanted to see it after watching the first 5
That
minutes.
is true, yeah. I watched the first 5 minutes of The Dead Don't Die, which is a
Oh,
horror
yeah.
movie. It's just come on to Netflix in Australia. It's directed by Jim Jarmusch, who has done a bunch of stuff, mostly like odd indie things like Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai, and
Yeah.
Coffee and Cigarettes and these sort of stuff. But it's got I'm enjoying it so far, but it's got a great cast.
Yeah.
It's Adam Driver and Bill Murray.
Yep.
And Steve Buscemi is in it, and the RZA is in it because he was in Coffee and Cigarettes, I guess. And Tom Waits is in it because he was also in that.
Yeah.
And it's just about a
A zombie outbreak.
zombie outbreak in a small town, and just a odd bunch of characters.
I've heard it's not great though. I've heard it's a bit kind of meandering.
I've heard it's
and
very mixed, but
Yeah.
I just
I keep seeing it there, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I think I am going to watch
and
this.
Bill Murray's in it. I think I mentioned,
Yeah.
but like it's just everybody. It's a movie where I would just watch every actor in that movie just do anything.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't.
Totally.
The quality of the movie is largely irrelevant. I'm just like, I'll watch this. I'll watch Jim Jarmusch direct a
Totally.
movie. Why not?
Totally.
And I'm also probably going to watch this week, and it's been recommended to
Jungle
us.
Cruise. Yeah, we know.
James, no. James.
But you are going to watch Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, I love the look of it.
It looks like the best movie from 2017.
Hell yeah. Just
Sorry, go on.
bit of that Pirates of the Caribbean magic.
You know it.
I'm going to watch Gunpowder Milkshake, which is
Oh, yeah, I've heard that's
also
not bad
new on
also,
Netflix.
yeah.
It's Lena Headey.
Is that out on Netflix now?
I think so.
Oh, shit.
It's Lena Headey and Karen Gillan.
Yes.
As like
I was going to say Amy Pond, but yes, you are correct.
Who are a mother and daughter, and they are also both assassins, I think.
and they
they're-
love a gunpowder milkshake.
Apparently so, yeah.
Apparently so, yeah. That's what I like about it. So there you go. Okay, well, listen.
James, what are you?
Well, this
been
isn't
doing?
technically, not to get into the technicalities of it, but of a What We Read thing, but I've spent the week researching different arcade cabinets off the back of our discussion last week.
Yeah.
How I kept talking about how I'm going to buy a Daytona cabinet for some reason.
Okay, just FYI, I don't think it's on Netflix yet.
Okay, there you go. Well, it will be.
Yep, okay, Daytona.
Just got some response from people. This is from Two Blind Mice. My unemployed college roommate spent $3,000 on a VR headset, a steering wheel, 2 monitors, and a stick shift. He used it for 1 week. This is from Jay, who says, you've got 2 small kids and you don't get to spend money on expensive things you want anymore. Wait until you are out of the house and have jobs of their own to buy weird shit. Chris Fox says, get the Daytona. 21st Century Dad says, don't buy the arcade cabinet, James. And Vinton Nugent says, if I'm not mistaken, Gus Bucket's got an arcade cabinet from 1UP and it was no good.
What?
So I'm sure you got tweeted this week that the X-Men 4-player arcade one came out.
I did. I think it was maybe like a comic book writer or somebody who tweeted like, would my wife be mad at me if I bought this? So maybe.
I'm going to have to look into the build quality of those, though, I think.
Yeah, right.
But what I did find after extensive research,
Yes.
there's a company in Australia
Yes.
who make an arcade racing cabinet
Yes.
that just plays literally everything.
Interesting.
And I'm
okay.
like, yeah, if I was going to get it, it's cheaper and it's not, it's not
And you can
giant
play something
and-
other than Daytona.
Yeah,
on it.
you can play some Mario Kart, but I don't know whether they'd make 2 together.
Would they add a gun to it?
Well, you can get separate ones. They make
Okay.
other, and you can kind of custom the panels on the side and stuff like
Right.
that. I'll just quickly
There was a
find the
video
name.
game called Lucky and Wild.
I remember Lucky,
Remember
and Wild. Absolutely,
and
I do.
that was racing and gun because it was the premise was you were two cops on the loose.
Yep.
And one of you, I guess both of you
Yes.
had a gun, but like one of you had a steering wheel.
And a gun.
Yeah,
and the other one had
just
2
had a
guns.
gun. But I would usually play it with people who really love to drive, so I'd just be like, I'll take both guns, thank you. So
Where is it? Oh my God, I can't even find it. But I found this really cool website that seems to do a good job.
okay,
Anyway, I don't know where it is.
so less than the $7,000.
Yeah, slightly less.
Less, okay, terrific.
By slightly less, I mean I think they're like $4 or $5 grand, and there's different versions of it you can get.
It would be crisp and new, but would it have the same feel as the original?
That is
Daytona?
well. That's the thing because I'd want to get some customization. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. I guess you could go into when we're not locked down, you could go into a showroom. If they have a showroom, and be like, I'm going to give this one a whirl for 5 minutes and see how it goes.
And what if it doesn't go well?
Then burn the place down.
It's interesting you say that. It's called Retro Play. So if you retro-play.shop, they do. Again, I've never ordered anything from them, but they do custom builds and they ship all around the world.
Wow.
So
Well, if it helps you make the decision,
yep.
The significantly less expensive watch that I mentioned, I did end up buying it.
Thank God. For more than what it went for?
About the same. What I did is I found their Canadian site, which doesn't ship to Australia, still had the one I wanted in stock.
Yes,
so
yes.
I went to like a Canadian freight forwarding service and I paid them to buy it for me and send it. So
Very good.
Yeah.
You're never going to see that watch.
never gonna happen. I just threw my money into the internet.
It's going to be a dapper Canadian gentleman walking around with a watch that you don't really want.
That's exactly right.
Anyway, this is
I did want it, but I was hoping it would go on sale. And then it just sold out instead of going on sale.
It could still go on sale, right?
I mean...
You've got it. You've locked it in.
Yeah, well, I haven't received it yet. So.
You're going to buy that Steam machine that was...
That's what I was going to talk about when
Yeah.
you mentioned Netflix gaming. That's the thing that I forgot about. That It's called the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Well, I
Big
don't have,
steaming
well,
deck.
as you know, I don't have a computer for some reason. Like, I don't own one.
I know that.
So-
You text me every day.
Yeah. Still don't have a computer.
James, I wanted to send you an email on computer, but I couldn't.
Had to send it to you on phone. Are you okay with getting it? Is there cross compatibility between email and phone and email and computer? James, you getting these? James.
Don't email me, text me.
Text me
I don't
back.
have a computer.
Text me back if you get email from my phone. I've lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, Steam Deck. So it's a handheld device
Yep.
that allows you to play whatever games you own, you've purchased through
Yep.
Steam.
But it could also, you can like make it do anything. It's essentially a PC.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Can you stream it to your TV and use that as
Yes.
See, here's the thing, because I think I mentioned last week there are two, we were talking about arcade cabinets. There are two Dungeons and Dragons arcade games, like side-scrolling beat-em-ups.
Yeah.
I remember the names. One's called Tower of Doom and one is called Shadow over Mystara.
Oh.
And they're like, you pick your character class and maybe you're a wizard and you've got powers and et cetera.
Maybe you're a wizard.
And it's like a Ninja Turtles arcade game, but you can choose different paths and stuff like that. 'cause it's all
cool.
role play.
How do you choose a different path? Like, is there like There's,
Well, yeah.
there's bleeping arrows and you
Yeah,
go
there's
up or
bleeping
down.
arrows, exactly. Yeah, bleeping
gotcha.
arrows up or down. You know the drill.
Should we switch segments into the letters segment, or should we just keep it rolling here? Because you're going to have to play the theme, and I don't want you to get too excited and forget about it.
Oh, no, I'm going to do the thing. Don't you even bloody... I'll continue waffling like I do, and then I will do that.
Just so we can just get that out of the way. It's not the sword of Damocles.
No,
Thank you
that's
to the
true.
one person who enjoyed that reference.
What I was going to say is they're on Steam.
Yeah.
So if I had this device, I could just get them. I could spend whatever $1,000 on this.
Well, it's
handheld.
$400 for the base model,
Okay.
which is 64 gig, and then it goes up from there. But we also, they wanted to keep it relatively cheap.
Yeah.
But it also obviously gets more expensive. But I do wonder about the durability, how long it's going to take,
Yeah,
how
right.
long it will last.
Is this from
speed.
Valve
Yes.
specifically? Okay.
Yes.
They will do anything to not make a Half-Life 3. they will build a new handheld computer
Yep.
entertainment device from scratch as opposed to just being like Half-Life 3. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Only make that sequel you want.
They'll do a VR one.
We'll do a VR spin-off that one person will play in any given country.
And apparently it's amazing.
Yeah, people love it, but nobody's playing it.
Yeah.
What
are you doing?
I just don't understand what I would have to get in order to play it.
You get Oculus and then you go from
I
there.
guess, but like some of the headsets are capable of running it, and some aren't, and it's a real thing.
I might get a PlayStation VR, the next one, when it comes out.
Whoa!
But probably won't. Anyway,
Nice.
theme song.
Letters?
Letters.
The classic one was
Letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away.
you know they're here right now. We're gonna do letters.
So yeah, is this something you're seriously considering getting?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
What would you shell out for? I mean, there's the 3 there, which so people go for the middle one, right? That's generally the
Well,
idea.
what
of things
I
like
do,
this.
if I buy a new mobile phone, which I haven't for quite a long time,
Yeah.
I usually get the best version
Yeah.
that is currently available, so then it lasts the longest.
I did the same,
I
yeah.
don't go, I picked 64 gig and I've had it for a year and it's full or whatever.
Yeah, I want the most capacity.
Yeah.
same.
I think that's the best value in the long run. So I'd probably get the biggest capacity.
I also, you're probably the same, but when I do phones now, I don't go onto a plan. I buy the phone outright.
Yes.
So I'm not locked into 64 months or whatever.
Exactly.
it
And
is,
if you want to crack it onto a door
Yeah.
or something, you just smash it to pieces on a door
It's
handle.
fine.
Yeah, it's yours. You can do with whatever you want.
But I also understand that some people don't have that luxury.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
because then paying it off monthly in a plan is,
Yeah.
might be the way to go. But no, it definitely did intrigue me. I want to see how it plays out. I don't know whether I'd actually use it or not. I just bought this brand new laptop, as you know, which was very expensive.
You should get a sponsorship from Venom.
Well, we nearly did. Okay, I'll tell this story. Fuck it, why not? So I can't remember they reached out or we reached out. And look, they're a solid laptop and I 100% stand by them.
I mean, they are, but you have a stack of dead ones, obviously.
yeah, no, I have 2 others.
It's
The
because
first-
you burn them out, I guess.
Yeah, I burned them out. And the first one I got in like 2013.
Yeah.
And it still worked by the time I got rid of it. And the last one I had for like 4 years.
Yeah, and the one before that I bashed it with a baseball bat
that's
until
right.
it didn't work anymore.
So I think 4 years for
I
like...
said if I don't have a computer, nobody can have a computer. I'm starting with you and I'm working my way out the neighborhood.
Exactly. Like for something with like, the socket at the back doesn't connect to the battery
Yeah,
properly
right.
anymore. And like I've riddled it with viruses and whatever
Yeah.
else. They run pretty well. But, and it, I could, like honestly, the other one I still could have used it.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
but I was like, fuck it all. But anyway, something happened and they said, if you do a sponsorship, like if you mention it every week, we'll give you a free laptop.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm sorry, you'll give me one laptop if I mention you every week.
For how long?
For a
yeah.
year.
Yeah,
and
wow.
they're like, yeah. And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, we don't do sponsorships. And I'm like, well, I don't do whatever the fuck this is. So no.
Sure, right. Got a little aggressive towards the end there.
But I just think that's so like, we'll give you one, but mention us literally every time you do anything.
Yeah, right.
Get
yeah.
fucked.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
What you-
again, I like them,
James,
so
what
I
you-
guess this is a sponsorship.
James, what you could have done is you should have said, I'll mention it, but every week you could say you love Venom, but you're actually talking about the Tom Hardy movie.
I could do that,
You're like,
yeah.
I love Venom.
Tom Hardy movie.
Tom Hardy movie.
Yeah. So anyway.
I love how my Venom laptop jumps into a tank full of lobsters and eats them all raw. That's what I love about my Venom laptop.
Anyway, they're pretty expensive. So you'd probably only need one if you're doing like high-end PC or like lots of video editing and stuff,
yeah.
which to be fair, I don't do that much of anymore.
Or the most resource-hungry activity of all, editing a podcast.
Yeah, well, the other thing, which I also don't do, but I like the idea of being able to dump anything into a laptop and it won't be like, this is too big a file or whatever. And like, you can literally throw anything into one of these and it just is like, whatever. Even as the other one was burning out, it didn't.
Bucket of paint?
Yeah, bucket of paint. It didn't really slow down after I dumped it in that bucket of paint.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Here's a letter, James. This is
Yeah,
from
let's do
Diego.
it.
It says, I am writing this a little bit high in Vegas.
Whoa!
Hi, James and Meso. Love the show. I've been listening to it a little bit over 2 years now. This week, I took a flight to Vegas for my cousin's bachelor party.
Vegas, baby.
Well, it's not really my scene. My cousin is much more like a brother to me, so I've been saying yes to everything he wants to do like a complete buffoon. It's been fantastic.
Oh, good. It's stressful when you're
Yeah.
in charge of like a bucks party.
While on the flight here, I realized I forgot to download any movies or videos or on anything for the 4-hour flight. So I had to check to see if I accidentally downloaded anything from YouTube. Luckily, I had Pokemon the First Movie, a Caravan of Garbage episode for a movie I've seen when I was 5 years old and never again. Thank you for keeping me occupied on the plane as I watched it 3 times in between looking out the window. Can I please be the guy in Vegas who just wants to take a nap of the pod? Thanks
Gosh, you
again
can.
for Diego.
Gosh, you
Yes,
can.
absolutely.
Yeah, that one that one makes no money.
Great, terrific
But
stuff.
that one,
Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. That's really cool. Thank you for watching it 3 times. It must have been all right.
That's good.
It must
Yeah,
have done a
there's
good edit.
few extra coins in the old pocket, James.
That's right.
Yeah.
Here's one from Danny Chong who says, #WeeklyPlanetPod. That's how you reach the show, or weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com.
That's right.
Send Mason a Gmail and he will check it on his phone. He doesn't have a laptop.
That's right.
But he can.
Mate, it's very difficult. I had to go to into the shop and I'm like, how do I get email
Yeah.
on phone?
Can I use your computer charger to charge my telephone?
Yes.
He said.
I said, can I use your computer charger to get email?
Will this Ethernet cable connect to my telephone so I can get an email?
James, do you remember when you could only send a text message to somebody who was on the same carrier as you?
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
When was that?
This was like early 2000s?
That wasn't, or it cost you more? Was that
No,
the
you
idea?
just couldn't.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know, but that's how life was back then.
Which carriers? Was that like an Optus thing?
Yeah, like if you're on Optus, you could only text to other people on Optus.
My understanding
I
was-
remember getting I was in
Vegas.
I was in Vegas.
Yeah.
And somebody texted me, and I'm like, "But you're not on Optus. How are you doing this?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Have you changed carriers?" And he's like, "No, they've opened this up to everybody. It's mayhem."
We can now talk.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
You never spoke again.
That's right. And
to
I'm
your
like,
dad.
"Well, I'll never get computer again because I don't need it."
Well, I thought it was that Optus to Optus was free, but everything else cost you. That's what I thought it was.
No.
I know I didn't get a phone till like 2007 or something.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
Things were a little bit different back then.
you're not wrong. Danny says, if you enjoy the Russian spy family in America, part of Black Widow, you should check out The Americans, probably the best TV series ever made, and with what I believe it to be the series with a perfect series finale. I've watched like the first 4, like
Same.
3 years
Is
ago.
Kerry Russell in it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And
yeah.
another guy who's not Mark Ruffalo is in it.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's all I know.
Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, I mean, you could have said don't. The Ruffer don't. would
Nope.
have-
Nope.
You're right.
Worked backwards, got 3 letters in, and I went, pretty good. That's what I'm
just think
using.
you could have sent me a few more texts. We could have got
Yeah,
there.
no, that's
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
true, yeah.
Got another one?
This is from Tyler. He says, more inaccurate toys in things.
You got it.
Hey, James and Meso, following on from your brief pony talk in last week's pod, thought you might be interested in some other inaccurate placements of toys in films and things.
Yeah.
One I personally noticed was in 2014's Godzilla, where young Aaron Taylor-Johnson at the start of the movie is playing with a Lego snowspeeder that was released in 2013 despite the scene being set in the 90s.
Insanity.
Next are 2 offenders from Stranger Things. Here we go.
yeah, that sounds about
Here
right.
we go. At some point, green Lego is seen a good few years before they made Lego in that color. People on Lego forums were furious at this, apparently.
Also, people on Lego forums, there was also an upside down universe. So, you know, that
true,
also
yeah.
wasn't in the 80s.
Yeah. And in Season 2, Dustin has a Transformers Ultra Magnus toy a whole 2 years before it was released somehow.
My goodness.
Yeah. They put in an effort to get an 80s toy, but still messed up.
Yeah. Apparently there's a lot of that stuff in Stranger Things, you know.
Yeah.
I think most people don't specifically
I think
remember.
that what happens is they go, like, I reckon it's an on-the-day decision.
Yeah,
in
right.
a lot of instances, they're like, oh, we need something for the shelf. We need something for the kids to play with.
Yeah.
What do they have? My Little Pony. Okay, can you go to Target and
get
get
one.
a My Little Pony or whatever, and they do the best they can. Like, I think even like a Stranger Things, I reckon if they had time and money, they'd be like, let's get an authentic I reckon they probably go, like, if they've got enough money, they probably go, get something from Target, we'll win some eBay auctions,
Yeah.
we'll do all this sort of stuff. But I imagine also sometimes you get the authentic My Little Pony, but it's all yellowed with age because
Yeah,
it's literally
exactly,
from
yeah.
the
Yeah.
80s or whatever.
And then you got to unbox something that's like crisp and new, and then what are you doing there even?
That's right.
Oh, so wasn't there those green Lego sheets that were grass? Were they around?
Yeah.
Those were around, right?
I think so.
I don't know.
I didn't know green Lego wasn't a thing until a certain
It was like the
point.
green M&M.
I remember there being the green M&M. I texted all my friends. I'm like,
of
you
your-
seeing this?
Some of your friends.
Yeah, the people who are on Optus, yeah. You
Stuart,
seeing this?
Stuart Townsend says, #Weekly Planet Pod.
It's an unnatural colour. I mean, green is
Green
in
is-
nature,
it's
but not
probably
in
the
candy.
most natural colour.
Not in candy, though,
That's
is
true,
it?
actually. After listening to the Crank commentary, I think there needs to be more Claire Tonti involved, especially if she is watching movies that she hates. Very funny. Keep up the good work. So, yeah, you mentioned to me that a lot of people felt anxiety, didn't they, when Claire walked in at that moment?
Yeah,
Was that right?
probably.
you
I
say
did
that
at
to
the
me?
time.
Yeah.
Not kidding, just kidding. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
Also, for people wondering, I think maybe we did the director's cut.
Oh, yeah, we did too. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
I
Streaming
could not
service that I got that
tell
off.
you what the difference is.
Nah, longer?
It seemed like the same version I saw in cinemas,
the
but
same.
yeah. So
I don't think it matters.
yeah,
Uh,
we went more off topic than ever before.
That's
so.
right. BigSandwich.co this week also, because there's a bonus thing every week, every Sunday when this podcast goes out. Maniac of New York. That's
Yeah,
the
I mean,
book club we're
we've
looking at.
talked about it sort of intermittently as it's come out. Aftershock Comics,
Yes.
Maniac of New York, and we're like, why not? It's
I
really
found some
good.
fascinating stuff
It's
about it
5
as well, yeah.
issues. It's a really good premise. It looks incredible. So we were like, why not do a whole episode
That's
on it?
right. That's up now. If you're listening to this, that's
Nice.
probably up. If you're listening to this as soon as it goes up, because it does. It goes up a day early and ad-free.
That's right.
Got one more, or have you got one more?
You've got one more.
Okay, Rusty Sprout says, #Weekly Planet Pod. Your PM shit his pants at a McDonald's and you haven't talked about this.
Yeah, we know he did, yeah, in Engadine.
1997. That's right. I feel like we have talked about this.
Yeah, maybe we have. Because here's the thing. This got national news and international news, it seems.
Yep.
Because he went on, because obviously...
He went on Kyle and Jackie O or
Here's the
something.
thing. He's terrible. He's one of the worst.
He's horrible.
And I hate to get political, but also he's one of those guys who's like, oh, I'm just a silly dad. I don't know. Like, so at any time something bad happens, something awful, it's like, oh, the people are like, does he not know what's going on? He knows what's going on. He's terrible. He's not an idiot.
Yeah.
You don't accidentally become the prime minister.
No.
Anyway, the point is, he went on a radio show, and presumably to distract from like terrible vaccine rollouts or one of the numerous other scandals, he unprompted. They didn't even ask him about it.
Oh, they didn't ask him.
He just started talking about this internet rumor.
Which means he did it.
I think he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what,
But
man?
I think on purpose, because he's terrible. I don't think he did it accidentally. I think he did it to ruin someone's day.
Yeah, you're probably right. Here's the thing about this guy as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you're international to us,
Yes.
you might remember the Where the Bloody Hell Are You campaign.
Yeah.
He's responsible for that. And what's interesting about that terrible campaign is it actually decreased people coming to the country.
Interesting.
So he fucked our normally vibrant, just by itself tourist economy, which just happens naturally. Because you just put an ad and you go, Great Barrier Reef, Big Rock, coffee. And that's all you fucking need. You just flash that on the screen. And he somehow, and then people are like, this is rude.
And then he mysteriously got fired from that job.
Yes,
but did you know
got a massive payout?
Did you know that he also, prior to that, he worked for New Zealand?
I did know that.
And he got mysteriously fired.
Also fucked up.
Yeah.
Got a massive payout and left. And then he went into politics and now he's the fucking head of the country as well. And people are like, well, you know, would the other guy do what? Probably not. But also the other guy is also weak. They're all weak and spineless. And just terrible.
Anyway, this is politics at 2%.
Yep.
That's
if you want the full 40%, which is where I'm at.
Yeah.
You have to tune in next week.
That's right.
When he
I've
does
got one more
another
email.
terrible thing.
This is from Fritz. It says how to think about buying an expensive collectible.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah. I was listening with pleasure as you guys struggle with how to justify buying a vintage arcade cabinet. I'm a publisher and printmaker, and part of what I do is collect antique printing equipment.
Oh, interesting.
So I know something about buying stupidly large machines that don't make any sense. My largest press is a 1902 press that weighs almost 2,000 pounds.
Jesus.
I print 5 or 6 poems on it a year.
Wow.
So here is how serious collectors think about spending a lot of money on a machine they really want but they don't need. You're not buying anything. You're paying some money to care for a piece of history. You get the pleasure of having it, using it, and learning about it. But if it's a real collectible, there will always be someone else who wants a turn. So whenever you need to move on, you just sell it on to the next collector. Hopefully you get some of your money back. In the best of cases, you make a profit.
That's very
As they say of
interesting.
owning a boat, the boat owner has two happiest days, the day she bought the boat and the day she sold it.
That's a very interesting way to look at it.
My wife says, my wife Sarah and I have loved the show for years. Can we be the official print publishers of the pod? Yes, you may.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah.
So how do you look? I look at something, though, I'm like, I'm going to get this thing and ruin it.
Yeah, I like to ruin stuff. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I like to just tear it to pieces, you know.
What have you ruined lately? A toilet in Engadine?
Yeah, no, that's right. Well, you got to do it for the tourist experience. If you're in Engadine, you got to, you know.
used to work
What
at a
else are you gonna do-
McDonald's.
What else are you going to do in Engadine?
Don't ruin a toilet.
Nah, I'm gonna
if you've ever cleaned a toilet publicly, don't ruin a toilet.
Yeah, good call.
Anything else, or is that
that's,
it?
That's the whole thing.
Fucking
folks.
wrap it up,
That's
mate.
the whole episode. Maybe next week we'll talk about a better movie. Snake Eyes.
If we can see
I
it.
think it'll be a better movie.
And it's also DC. No, it's Comic Con. It's sort of. I think.
Oh, Comic Con talk.
Yes.
Nice. I love it.
Let's do it.
Folks, thanks so much for listening to the podcast. Thank you for subscribing to the podcast. Thank you for telling a friend about the podcast. Thank you for lying to a friend to get them to listen to the podcast. You tricked them. They're in now. You've been tricked.
You got 'em.
Sucked in, idiot.
Why did you listen this
Are those
long?
tricked people? Are those tricked people still listening now? We don't know. But that's the perfect crime, though, James. They don't know. If they'd still be listening at this point, the reveal would be this is the prestige.
Oh, my
we reveal
God.
that they've been tricked, but they haven't listened this far.
I love the prestige.
Right?
So I just realized I haven't brought up reviews, so I'm just furiously looking for some
nice.
now. Sorry, go on.
James, do you have a 5-star review there? Because thank you, everybody. If you
I actually
leave
do have a
5-star
couple
review.
here, yeah.
Nice.
This one is from AA Ron, who says, amazed they've lasted this long. It's 5 stars. You just do it in that.
Yeah.
Not sure how, what I can only assume, assumes a podcast examining a new planet every week for over 300 episodes, but I guess they figured out something. Big fan of the two hosts, Jim and Nicholas. Keep up the good work. And this one says, 5 stars also. It's from Emperor Bailey, who says, decades well spent. I've been listening to this podcast every Monday since 1976 when they started it up to discuss updates about the upcoming Superman the movie. Consistently A-plus commentary for 45 years and counting. I've thoroughly enjoyed it and the community that has grown around it. Join us.
Please do.
Nothing wrong with that.
When are you going to graduate to Jim? When are you going to become a Jim?
I'm a Jim to some.
Really? Who?
None of your business.
No, I want to know. I'll figure it out. I'm going to listen in on all your phone calls.
You know what it is? Somebody goes, do you go by Jim? And I'm like, whatever.
Right,
So
yeah.
whoever says that,
Yeah.
that's how I'm named.
Do you go by Tarquin?
Yep.
Nice, great.
I'm not married to any of it. I don't give a shit, literally. You could call me anything. I don't give a fuck. 'Cause I
You
know
heard
pe-
it, folks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but you know how some people are like, people, you know, who've transitioned to like, your name used to be this, so I'm going to call. Get fucked. People can be called whatever they want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
If you were born a name and then you get a nickname, whatever, man, gives a shit.
Agreed.
People can be. Shut up. People can be whatever they want. Is what I'm
agree.
saying.
I agree, James.
Yeah.
With you. You didn't
Well,
think I
yeah.
would agree.
I know.
Yeah.
But in my case, is what I'm saying is I don't care specifically what I'm called.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Folks,
Yeah.
if you want to get in contact with us on the show, you can go to weeklyplanetpod at Gmail, at Facebook, at Twitter, at Bandcamp. You can go to planetbroadcasting.com. You can sign up to the newsletter. From the great Rob Collings. He's at Raw Collings. He is at The Weekly Planet. He's also at Taking a Week Off.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
He's been editing podcasts and videos and all kinds of stuff.
We're
Take a
gonna
breath.
we're just gonna lay him down for a few months, aren't we?
Yeah, terrific. Nice.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's good. Maybe I'll
Folks-
send him a Daytona cabinet. Maybe that'll
Yeah.
make him feel better.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just drop it off outside his house and he has to bring it in himself.
And it's the 4-1.
It's the 4-1, exactly. It will not go through any... You have to build a house around it, is how that works. Folks, you can also go to Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group. You want to have some
Certainly
fun
can.
chats about pop culture and podcasts and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, man.
If you want to support the show. Oh, actually, I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter and on Instagram, and Nick Maso, NICKMASEAU, James, your Mr. Sunday Movies, everywhere. Folks, if you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies. If you'd like to chuck in a buck or any amount you wish, you can also go to bigsandwich.co, sign up for $9 in dues per month. And you've got all sorts of bonus podcasts and great stuff.
It's true.
It is true. You can also go to tpublic.com. You can search for The Weekly Planet. We've got all kinds of T-shirts there. And by we, I mean we do and other people we like and just randos.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's right.
Just don't do the generic ones of people who just steal them, but just like, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Unless it's funny.
Yeah, we don't care,
Unless you get one and you do a funny joke or doing a stunt. Maybe
Yep.
doing a prank.
I love pranks.
Get one of those generic T-shirts and then do a prank on Facebook Live.
Make it
and get a lot
famous.
of views. Make us famous, please. Yeah. The bigger the push, the better. Pushing somebody over.
I was going to say, the push for the prank.
Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you to the Brute and the Basilisk and Rackham for all our musical themes.
Yeah, they're good, aren't they?
Very good. Almost too good. Suspiciously good.
We've got to take that word out, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Some people are saying they'll stop listening if I change the theme song.
But some people say they'll stop listening if you don't.
Yeah, exactly. And so what I'm saying is...
who annoys you the most?
know,
What will you do? Who will you want to spite the most?
I will spite the loudest group. That's what I'll do.
That's absolutely
So if I
true.
change it and people flip out, I will never change it back.
Yeah.
But if I change it and nobody says anything, maybe I just will change it back.
It's true, yeah.
I cannot be pushed.
Yeah.
You do not understand.
Oh, I get it. But the people out
No,
there.
I know you understand.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. My
folks-
will to annoy people has always been like fucking
That
laser
trumps everything,
focused.
yeah.
The things that I will respond to.
You ever wonder why a weird thing happens in this podcast or we've got a weird tradition or something like that? It's because somebody has said, hey, stop doing the thing. And we're like, no, we'll do it forever, actually. That's how we work.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it, isn't
That's
it?
the whole show. Next week, as you said, Snake Eyes,
Hopefully, yeah.
Comic-Con,
Yep.
Woo. Woo.
Woo or boo.
That's right.
Find out.
We'll
It'll
find
be
out
our
if-
woo or boo special.
That's right.
Yeah.
Snake Eyes, woo or boo? Comic-Con stuff, woo or boo?
That's right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We genuinely appreciate
We really
it.
do.
And
Did the Emmys, was there an Emmy nomination?
yeah,
this
a
week?
bunch of stuff happened. And Don Cheadle got nominated for like 3 seconds of screen time
Yeah.
for Captain America, and he's like, I don't know.
Feels like a career achievement award. It's like,
Yeah.
you've done this for 10 years, let's...
Well, there is a theory that people who are voting just thought he was Anthony Mackie,
Wow.
which I think is entirely possible for the people who vote for these things.
Yeah, I guess that's probably true, actually.
Anyways, let's get out of here.
Grab that gem, you guys. We will see you next week.
Goodbye. Oh, I got to put the sting in.
Yeah, put the sting in. You're the king
Every
of sting.
breath you take.
Yes.
We didn't even workshop that one.
No, that's true. It's
not true, we
But I'll be
workshopped
texting
it.
you later and be like, I like the sting thing you did. You sting.
I would have done Roxanne, but This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
I mean, if you want. It's up to you.